Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see here on our channel, on our website, or our social media. Reach out to me directly, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. And today we're discussing the post-2017 version of the Audemars Piguet Royal Oak chronograph. This is the 26331OR in red gold, 41 millimeters. It's a timepiece that offers a lot of wrist presence without the thickness and bombast of the Royal Oak offshore. You can also see some of the elements that arrived in 2016, and we'll break them all down momentarily. But let's talk about basic dimensions. 41 millimeters in diameter. The watch wears more like a 43, truth be told. It's not thick, however. At 11.1 millimeters thick, it's the wingspan of the watch. As you can see, from lug to lug, the timepiece measures 51.4 millimeters. But once you start including these intermediate plots that flare out, now you've got a watch that's approximately 55 millimeters laterally across the wrist, which is why, though it's a 41, I don't actually recommend it for a wrist smaller than 15 centimeters circumference. So you can see my wrist is 16 centimeters in circumference, oval in profile. Here's your down the barrel shot. You can see I don't have a ton of clearance, but I have enough that you could wear this watch on a slightly smaller wrist. Not much smaller, about a centimeter. Overhead, you can see, again, there's a little bit of clearance, but not much. And then the cuff shot, which reinforces that this is not an offshore in spite of its size. It will easily slide underneath the dress sleeve. Taking a quick look at the hardware and the software, the strap's a nice piece. AP generally doesn't short you the leather, and that's the case here. It's a very dark brown, large rectangular scale alligator leather, semi-gloss. You can see there is a monotone stitch, and though it's thick and bolstered, it has a folded edge rather than a sheer edge. Underside, you will note calfskin and a brand new AP factory strap. It's never been gouged, it's never been crimped. We'll talk about that in a moment. But take note that the watch uses screws and bars to fix the strap in place. So no spring bars here, and none of the risks that come with spring bars. AP spending a bit more money to build this watch the right way. There is a single fold to point clasp here, and it's made of red gold to match the case. You can see it's a logo style single folder, all internally polished, providing you some protection against droppage, and you can see that this too is fixed in place by screws so it can't pop off accidentally. Rolling around to the case, every Royal Oak is a work of art because of the manual finishing that's involved in the case, the bezel, and the joinery, such as the micro links. This is a handsomely executed watch, and you can see the design continuity dating back to the original in 1972 by Gerald Genta, the continuation of the crease of the bezel through the mid-case, through the case back, the juxtaposition of the fastening, which you can see on the bezel as well as the case flank, with hard angles and flat planes, best expressed by the tension between the rounded polygon and high polish of the bezel flank against the flat sweep of the satin finish top with the sharp break between the two surfaces. This is a watch that has a lot of dynamism to its shape. You can see that the bevel expands from the mid-case over the lug hoods. This is executed manually. A few changes that arrived for 2017. You can see that the crown and the pusher shoulders are still hexes to reference the gold hex bolts in the bezel, but the pushers themselves are no longer screw down. They look screw down, but they're shouldered, so you never have to screw them in or out. You can activate the watch's chronograph at any time, and the watch remains 50 meters water resistant with a screw-down crown, which is suitable for surface swimming. You have those slightly recessed white gold bolts in the bezel, and then you have a dial, which is the Grande Tapisserie, so it is not the petite of the jumbo, and it's not the stamped mega tapisserie of the offshore, and that's important because the offshore's dial is stamped. This one is made the old-fashioned way on a pantograph lathe, which is a 19th century mimicry engine that takes a big template of this dial and then etches it in miniature to create the consumer product on this little brass blank. Now, the dial is a dark brown, like the strap itself, and it's a nice complement to the rose gold hands, registers, and indices. The registers themselves feature a concentric circular guilloche or azurage inboard of concentric brushed patterns. It's an easy watch to read. You can see one of the 2017 changes. In addition to the hands and the indices, the chronograph registers, the hours and the minutes are maximized and the constant seconds sort of minimized. There's a monotone date disc, and the watch does feature a date quickset, though it does not feature hacking seconds. And you can see that the timepiece with screw-down crown as ever, used to manipulate caliber 2385, which is a Frederic Piguet 1185 automatic chronograph, albeit modified and regulated for Audemars Piguet. The 1185 is a high horology chronograph. It's built by Blancpain in their Frederic Piguet manufacture. Automatic winding with unidirectional action. It's a very efficient winder with a 40-hour power reserve. It beats away at 21,600 vibrations per hour and pivots on 37 joules. The 5-position adjustment is the chronometer and high horology standard, so it's very accurate. And it was one of the earliest high horology chronograph calibers back in the 80s to team a column wheel and a vertical clutch. The column wheel makes for crisp feel and sound to the chronograph pushers, and then the vertical clutch allows for instant engagement without any jump or stagger to the seconds hand. Also, thanks to the vertical clutch, you can just leave the chronograph running with no additional hazard, wear, or tear to the movement. A high horology movement, it is finished appropriately, though only your AP watchmaker will ever know. But that's integrity, fine finish, and refinement where you will never see it. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details. And we're back with the AP Royal Oak Chronograph by Night.